Good afternoon, everybody. This is Harriet Westmore with More to Discover podcast. This is a podcast where we have conversations that chronicle our journeys to self discovery. I want to welcome you back to another great episode. Today, I have a very nice special guest that I met actually online, probably in one of our. I have so many Facebook groups that I belong to, and I just love meeting and connecting with other like minded people, and she is definitely one of my guests and person that of interest that I just had to connect with her. And this is Miss Dionne Jones. She is the founder of Age with Vibrancy, and this is a health and wellness for people who are mature. Let's just put that. I'm not going to say senior, but who are at the mature age, as myself. So, Miss Jones, thank you so much for coming on to the More to Discover podcast. I really appreciate you sharing your wisdom and giving us your gems of how we can be healthy at our mature age.
Well, thank you for having me. It was great meeting you. I definitely believe that there are no coincidences. The universe always aligns when the message is needed to be sent out. So our vibrations matched up. So I'm grateful for that.
Absolutely. So just give us a background about yourself. How did you, where you come from, and how did you find your vibrancy agency, and what propelled you to create this wonderful resource?
Well, my maternal grandmother is the foundation and the reason and the seed planter for Age with Vibrancy LLC. When I was a young girl, she was the temperance leader at our church. So she was all things natural, all things organic, all things healthy in the 70s when there were no such words, or we didn't have them as much in mainstream. So she taught me to live off the land. My grandparents had a water distiller in their basement. So we had to drink room temperature water every day, a gallon of water. We had stuff like wheat germ on the table. And my husband always laughs about my sheltered childhood. But those are the things that I hold dear to me now because our society pumps illness.
Absolutely.
So getting back to what my grandmother planted in me, because I know that it is my responsibility to carry her torch and to make sure that her message is continued and continued loudly, especially nowadays.
Absolutely. You said two things that kind of it triggered, because I remember as yourself, my great grandmother had always instilled of having room temperature water, to drink room temperature water, especially she always had it by her nightstand, first thing you drink in the morning. And I never did understand that. So tell us about that. And the other second thing was wheat germ. My father had instilled in us of using wheat germ. So tell me the two significance of both of those natural resource.
So cold water or ice cold water impedes your body's ability to digest food properly. It halts or slows down the digestion. So the room temperature water does not impede that. Also, we weren't allowed to drink 30 minutes before or after a meal because once again, that impeded the nutrients being absorbed into your body during the digestion process. So the room temperature is for not to impede digestion.
Okay.
And then it's easier on the body. Of course, if you're going to shock your system, then yes, definitely cold water. But the room temperature and the wheat germ was fiber. Yes, instead of having to eat 7 pears, sprinkle the wheat germ on your food.
Right. So, oh wow, you're taking me back.
Hydration. Yes,
absolutely.
So
those are two gems that I do recall. What are other things that you can share with us?
Well, my ministry is, like I said, fueled by my grandmother, and movement along with the nutrition. She was more focused on the nutrition and making sure that we could sustain ourselves in this society, not just for our families, but for our communities. I've taken it a step further with the movement because I'm former military. So the movement and the action and all of that, I loved. I fed off of that. I thrived off of that. And I got out of the military, married, mommy, everything to everyone but myself. And I looked
Mm-hmm.
around and I was 200 pounds and it was very uncomfortable. And I didn't know how to get back to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept hearing my grandmother's voice, come back home. And my mother was moving and she found all my grandmother's tapes. She would record tapes of nutrition. She
Oh,
had all
wow.
these notes, and my mother gave me my grandmother's notes about silver. I mean, just all the stuff that I had forgotten.
Oh.
And it just sparked something in me. So I started with the movement, tried to go back to the gym. I was
Mm-hmm.
unsuccessful. And then the fourth time, after looking at what I was doing to my family, not just
Mm-hmm.
myself, my children, and my husband, I realized that I had to start with me. So that started my journey into movement and adding on to what my grandmother laid the foundation for. So now I share my ministry whenever I can. And I'm blessed to have a lot of older people. It's okay to say older adults because that's what we are. I
Mm-hmm.
realized that I aged too. When I was in the service, I was my son's age. He's in his 20s now. I'm not in my 20s anymore. So
Right.
movement and fitness and wellness looks a little different as we age.
Right.
So it's not as, I don't say crazy. Some of the
Mm-hmm.
things you see on Instagram, I tell people stop following the people on Instagram. They're gonna have you break your neck. Just keep it simple. So that's what I preach. That's because it's my ministry. So simple movements. You can do it in a chair. You can do it standing up. Things that you have in your home, like stairs, even
Mm-hmm.
your chair, sitting and standing. So simple things, just every day, and they compound your wellness.
Wow. Number one, thank you so much for your service for the military. What branch?
Army.
Army. Thank you for your service. And two, just your career in the military. Did you find other cultures are different in their diets than we are as Americans? Was there a comparison there, if you can recall?
Unfortunately, the American diet is one of disease. It's ease in the body. And it's one another thing that my grandmother taught me. If you turn over a package and it has more than 5 ingredients, your body can't digest that. If it has names that you can't pronounce that aren't the natural names, we know the natural name for vitamin E, etc. Your body can't produce. Your body cannot break it down. So it's going to sit in your body and rust and create chaos.
Mm-hmm.
So abroad, there is simple. It's fruits and nuts and grains and
Mm-hmm.
seafood out the ocean, and it's amazing. I'm just like, wow, it's so simple.
Wow.
And that's what I brought back home: the simplicity. Quit making everything so complicated.
Right. And I'm sure the added this instant packaging and
Oh, it's horrible. It's poison.
um
It's
right. And
convenient.
then right, it's convenient. And that's so I think that's weird as Americans. We want everything
Yeah,
convenient.
right, because we've been bamboozled into thinking
Mm-hmm.
that we have to be hustle culture, and we
Mm-hmm.
don't. You don't have to do hustle culture. It's okay to sit down and rest and prepare a meal. You can prepare a meal. You 5 ingredients, you can prepare a meal. So we
Do
got
you
we got caught up in the hustle culture.
right, absolutely. Particularly, and I want to just narrow our the culture to our culture as African American women, along with the stressors of being a lot of us are maybe head of household, a lot of us are single parents, we're caregivers, we're brothers and sisters to everybody, and we're dealing with our jobs. As they say, double minority. We are women, we are Black women, and we are women. So you're dealing with the workplace and this all the stressors that we have to endure. How important is very important for us. What simple thing can we start doing to pivot our stressors and just start taking care of ourselves
Say
without
no.
feeling guilty?
Say
But
no. Say
that
no.
that's a
It's not
major one.
about feeling guilty because if I have stressed myself out to the point where I'm in the bed, who am I good to? And some people try to work through the sickness because I used to be one of those nuts that I can push through the sickness and your body isn't going to eventually sit you down
Right.
and you're no good to anybody. I say, I love my husband to death, but daddies just don't love the same way that mommies do.
Say that again.
They do a great job, but it's just like, oh, you don't want to go behind them. Let me refold these clothes. Or
Right.
we have to let things go.
Right.
No, quit being
Right.
micromanagers, because Black women, we are micromanagers.
Yes, we are.
We want things to be perfect. And it's because the way we've been taught, we have to be 10 times better. We have to be
Yes,
50 times better. And it's true, but not to the point of our detriment.
absolutely. Absolutely.
But
And some of the things that are teaching and you're ministering to us, that the whole grains, the just eating healthy and taking care of ourselves, our mental mind, that could wipe out a lot of our high blood pressure and all of that. A lot of that could be eliminated through just
yeah.
simple diets, changing our way of thinking and way of eating.
Our way of we said thinking and eating, but society, we have to learn how to break away. And it's okay not to be the quote unquote popular girl trying to chase this unattainable status of I have this, that, and the other, and so
Right.
was in my Rolodex. And we have to be okay with being ourselves.
Yes.
It's okay to be the nerd. It's okay to be the weird girl, whatever woman, just be yourself. And I think that's what a lot of us struggle with because we're so busy trying to be what we're not. And it's putting additional stress on us. It's hard enough being a woman. It's hard enough being a Black woman. You want to be perfect.
Right.
And now you want to have the perfect car, the perfect husband, the perfect house, the perfect clothes. And for people who don't even like you,
Exactly. And at
we
the end
have
of the
to
day, and don't
get out
even
of that.
care.
Right. We have to, I call it the housewife syndrome. We have to get out of that the housewife syndrome. I said, Nene Leakes gets paid to be so stop trying. I just
Exactly.
think if people could just, and I know it's hard because we've been conditioned because you have to be popular, but if we could just get back to being ourselves. I have a girlfriend that we profess that we are proud blurs. We're Black nerds. We love Legos. We love anime. We love all the things that quote unquote is not cool for Black women. But
Hmm.
it feels so good not to have that stress of trying to compete with somebody.
Exactly. And unfortunately, we can take it to in our culture. Sometimes our churches can be, I know I'm touching on some toes here. I'm sorry, but those of us in my audience know we've already had that discussion about spiritual abuse in the church. We already had that discussion, but a lot of times even our churches can be toxic.
Well, the patriarchy, no matter what color it's coming from, is toxic.
Yeah.
I know I was raised 70 Adventist, and for years they would not let women be deacons, deaconess, be on the pulpit. And I remember the first deaconess they had, and older women were just like, oh, I'm pretty sure in the Bible there were women who were in charge of the church. I'm pretty sure. So where do we lose our way? But that's a whole nother dissertation.
I'm going to
Yes.
self-disclose. I'm also Adventist. So isn't that something?
Synchronicity.
So I know exactly what you're talking about. You're right. That's another podcast.
We've opened up a can of worms.
But you're right.
Fear to be yourself. They scare
Yes.
you. I mean, organized religion as a whole is about control and scaring you into being the good little girl. And it's
Right.
not even what it shouldn't even be about that. It's about connecting to spirit,
Right. Absolutely.
connecting to deity. But so I tell people you can be spiritual without four walls.
Right.
So
Amen. That's right. How can people what talk about your business, talk about your agency? How can people reach out to you and what services do you offer?
well, I'm a health coach, so I
Okay.
offer internal wellness. I start my clients off with a bioscan, a 2-minute process, and I get to see what's going on inside your body. And then we move from there with a development for your nutrition and your movement plan. It's fascinating because we don't even realize what's going on with our organs, but all that stress is going somewhere. And that
Right.
bioscan lets us know where it's going.
Okay.
So let's start with that. We develop a plan. We can do in-person training. We can do virtual training, and I move from there.
How long is your program? Do you have different packages that you
Well, the
offer?
bioscan is, like I said, that's a basic. That's 2 minutes. I
Okay.
do have a wellness program that is 12 weeks. I have a 6 month and I have a year because we all come in at different stages.
Right.
And it's one of the great things that I love about being a recovering social worker. I can intertwine that and get people out of their heads. That's
Mm,
the bulk of your wellness journey, getting out of your own head and getting out of your own way.
Absolutely.
Because that
Absolutely.
self-sabotage is real.
Yes. So very
So
much
yeah,
so.
there is a link on my Instagram. So age with underscore vibrancy. You see it rolling around on the ticker down there. So the just put the underscores without the LLC, of course. And there's a link, and you can schedule an assessment, and we
Okay.
connect and move from there. But
What I'll
yes,
do, I will
hmm
definitely make sure I'll once I do the editing and everything, I'll make sure that everybody has their your information. You also have a website,
oh
just IG.
yes, I do have an
Okay.
email. I can send that to you.
I will
The
have
one
all
you
that
sent, yeah, the
information.
one that we corresponded with. That's my.
Okay, awesome. Any final thoughts? And what's your final thoughts for us that really are really? This is December, end of 2024, and I know people like to do resolution, and they may want to just like.
Not that I don't believe in them, because
Mm-hmm.
yes, you need some direction, you need a goal. But I think
Mm-hmm.
people set themselves up with too big of a goal instead of
Mm-hmm.
taking it from the basics. The
Mm-hmm.
first thing is, have you moved? Have you
Mm.
gotten up and shaking your tail feather for about 5 minutes a day? Have you had water?
Ooh. Okay.
Just stuff that we don't even think about. Have you eaten? I have a girlfriend that I text because I know she don't eat. Have you eaten today? She like, oh, how do you forget to eat? But because
Wow.
for some people it's different. I know because of my metabolism, I have to eat every 2 hours or it's not going
Mm-hmm.
to be pretty. But just simple things. Have you hydrated your body? Have you moved your body? And have you nourished your body?
Wow.
We'll get those, and we can start working on the mind once we get everything else regulated.
Wow. We owe it to ourselves. We are living in, as they say, into perilous times. And it's very important. Everything is now, we're supposed to just go back to the basics. Go back to the basics.
Well, we're gonna have to.
And we're really going to have to go
That's
back to the
another
basics.
podcast.
Another podcast. But we owe it to ourselves and to our loved ones. You can just start where you are. You don't have, as
Nothing
Miss
huge.
Dionne says, just start. Just get up. Get up. Start drinking water, more water. And then the advice of our ancestors of drinking warm water, room temperature water, and then wheat germ. I grew up in the 70s as you did. I just didn't understand that. But now, as older, you appreciate a lot of the stuff that our parents, our grandparents, our great grandparents, yeah, they didn't have all this packaged stuff. A lot of stuff they had to concoct from the earth.
I know. You triggered something because I was thinking about my husband when he was teaching my sons how to clean their bathroom, and he
Mm-hmm.
went and got the newspaper and some vinegar
Oh,
water.
yep.
And I just got so tickled because I was like, that's what my grandmother used. You
Mm-hmm.
put Windex in your lungs, you don't know what that stuff is. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
see, back to
Mm.
the basics.
Where do you see yourself in the future with your with age with vibrancy? Do you see any expansion on your business or any products or anything that you have?
I see myself because it's happening now. I just did an international conference,
Wow.
and it wasn't in my bingo card. It wasn't on my, but I know that I can't be small.
Right.
This message has to go out to the world. So I know that I'm such a time as this. I know it's my time to do it. So I see myself international, definitely. Just
Absolutely. Absolutely.
making
And
sure
I'm so
we can
excited.
live better.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited for you. Well,
Thank you.
Dionne, thank you so much for taking the time out and just imparting your wisdom on us. And just, it's very simple. And like you said, just start and you can reach out. I'll have her information. So just reach out to her. She's very easy to talk to. She has a common voice. And I'm sure you have no qualms of getting us on the right, getting your clients on the right path. And they will feel so much comfortable with you just from the open of the first word out of your mouth. All that your anxiety will go away.
Yep.
Just
Breathe, keep it simple,
there you go.
and don't be a jerk.
There you go. Because that causes another unwanted.
More stress.
So thank you so much. And
More.
I would love to have you to come back on another topic. We seem we have so many things in common that we can create another episode on
Yes.
different topics. So
I look
I will,
forward to it.
I will definitely invite you back. So you guys, everybody just take care of yourself. This is the holiday season, but be mindful for what this the meaning of. It's not about running out and going in debt and getting stressed out because you could buy this and keep up with everything that reality shows and all this whatever. It's about just be yourself and just give of yourself, and that is more than enough. And if
Exactly.
those who cannot appreciate that, then you don't need to be in that circle. So, with that being said, you guys take care. Happy holiday season, and I will talk with you soon.
Thank you
Bye.
so much.
Thank you.